Gather around the radio, kiddos. It's Chris Janson. And now here's Chris Janson with
Janson.
Farm Report. Farm Report. What would you do? Do you remember Farm Report? I guess you get up early.
I remember Farm Report. I remember Swap Shop.
Oh, yeah.
You remember Swap Shop?
Some stations
Yes.
still
How about the Trading Post?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can you believe we used to call the radio and give out our phone number on the air?
Bro.
Okay, I got a trailer and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. One wheel's off of it, but I'm going to sell it. Best offer, and here's my phone number.
I was sitting with my grandpa one time, and
And he never missed it, right?
never
Right.
missed it. And this is a true story. So we're sitting there, we're listening to Swap Shop, and it comes on. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, just go to Southeast Missouri sometime and turn on any radio station early morning or late night, and you listen to Swap Shop or the Trading Post.
Radio.
Usually on like a secondary market in a small town. Anyway, so this guy comes on there, he's like, "Yeah, this is Ron down here in Potosi. I got a wood burning stove, a H&R single shot shotgun, a couple Beagle dogs, and a half a rick of wood, and
Okay.
you know,
The whole thing.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, lady.
yeah. I got a set of wheels off a Taurus. I only got the front two, you know, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you know, and it's so funny. Remember that? What was that movie? It's like a Napoleon Dynamite kind of character.
Kinda
You would
goofy
think you'd be like, oh, I'm getting that.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
right?
I'm on that.
I want that.
Yeah.
So
hey, y'all take copper.
yeah. So literally, we called and offered this guy to trade some catalytic converters. And I'm kidding. I'm joking, but no,
Show.
but literally, we called. I remember we called this dude, and that was my first gun. I still got it to this day.
Really?
Wow.
You bought one from it?
Oh, dude, you can buy. Listen, if you want to buy secondhand small arms, you just go on to the Swap Shop or the Trading
Yeah.
Post in Southeast Missouri.
I've already gone into. There are no numbers on it. You ain't gonna find it.
I've got a set of Billy Cook bridles and a saddle. I've got a bag of unused horse feed. I mean, anything
Yeah.
you could imagine.
Now it's Facebook Marketplace.
I also bought 2 Gibson Melody Maker guitars. Seriously, late 50s, early 60s.
Oh.
That I should have kept, but back there's years ago broke and just needed money, sold them off, whatever. I bought those off the Swap Shop.
How much did you pay for them?
$850.
And
for
how
2 of
much
them.
would they be worth now?
Probably $7,500 together.
Oh
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're done.
And they're just cool.
And they're just cool, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably ring up Keith Urban and probably sell them to him for real, hawk them over to Urban. But anyway.
Just tell them there's some star connected to it.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey,
I
I do
mean-
want to talk
This
about
was
your.
given to me by Roy Clark.
Yeah, right. You'd be like, which one? What do you? How? I've already bought all of them.
Man, hey, I got to tell you one thing I guess came across, and you'll appreciate this, loving vintage T-shirts and stuff, which has nothing to do with T-shirts, but it's still cool. I got Jerry Lee Lewis. So when Jerry Lee passed away, I had played his last birthday party officially, I think.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and that was during the pandemic, and so I played it online via Zoom, like most people communicated at the time.
Yeah.
So we set up a live stream, and I played for Jerry for his birthday. For him, it was really cool too because it was what I call the golden triangle, man, the trifecta of greatness. It was him,
Swagger.
Jimmy Swagger,
Let's go.
and Mickey,
Oh,
and they were
what?
all in the same
You
room.
got all of them.
All 3 cousins,
Dude.
and they were all in Jerry Lee's living room, and with some friends and family or whatever. And I was playing. I played a wild one for him, and we did it the rhyme and the whole deal. Anyway, when he passed away, unfortunately, he's my favorite artist of all time. His wife was kind enough to reach out through some mutual friends of mine and offer me some of the estate if I'd like to purchase some of it. And so I got first dibs on a lot of Jerry Lee's awesome things. So I got the American Hot Wax suit. With, the
Okay.
leopard pinstripe.
Yeah.
I got his Lincoln Mark 7.
You did?
I
You
did.
got the car. Now you own a couple of cars.
Yeah.
Don't you have Mini Pearls?
And Paycheck.
You got Paycheck's Cadillac?
Limousine, yeah,
The
Mini
limo.
Pearls limousine, and then I'm looking, but
You collect old country stars cars.
That's
Yeah.
the coolest hobby ever.
yeah,
That's a different realm.
but check it out, but cooler than cars even with the Jerry Lee thing is the what I call the most grandiose thing of all is I got his piano out of his living room.
You did not.
Wow.
That should be in the Smithsonian.
Yeah.
So I have Jerry Lee. I have the piano he just
no.
tooled around on in his living room.
Still. that's probably even more rare.
Right, because it's not the
You need to do. You got to do that. You got to do that Antique Roadshow. They got to go to your house.
Yeah, we
and,
could.
and tell you what it's worth.
And you
We
think
could.
about all the people that would go to his house and they would sit down and play for each other.
Yeah,
kind of
noodle
thing.
around.
Just pick on the piano.
All the artists.
And so he signed one of the keys, and
Never play that key.
yeah, right, and also with that shopping excursion, and I'm also working on a lot more stuff. But I also we were the same. He's my favorite artist of all time. We were the same size, height, width, everything. So we wore the same size suit. We wore the same size boots, and so I got a pair of his custom, stage-worn Jerry Lee Lewis custom Texas Letty boots in the box, still with the custom shoe horns with his initials on them, and the whole deal. And so that's pretty cool. I wore them on the
super cool.
Opry.
Dude.
Yeah.
I'm warm on the Opry.
Dude, yeah, right?
Look at this flex over here.
Oh my!
I'm
I know,
warm on the
right?
Opry.
I mean, I have a
warm on
pretty
it.
big vintage
But
T-shirt collection.
I'll tell you what I'm working on.
Which actually Chris contributed to. He gave me a
Yeah,
T-shirt.
sure did.
What'd you
Jason-
give him?
He gave me a Jason the Scorchers T-shirt.
Dude,
Oh.
which is sick, by the way.
Which is why I'm on Ozempic, so I can fit into it.
Like
See how you're helping everyone, Chris?
like Scorchers, man. Like that's like a super rare.
Yes,
for
it was.
that's a Nashville thing.
And you just
right?
handed it to me. We're like,
Yeah.
here, you'll appreciate it. And it was,
Well.
I mean, there was light shining on it. Angels were singing.
Well,
it's
you
a
will,
whole thing.
you will, and you did, and you
I
do,
do,
right?
still do.
I'm working on. You'll be proud to know I'm working on two things. I don't really covet much anymore in my life, which means I don't really.
Well, it's one of the rules.
Yeah. Well, I really don't. I really don't covet much, and so I'm okay with letting things go and acquiring whatever if it feels right. But I'm working on one of Waylon's cars. One of his gold Cadillacs with the W's in the seats, and I'm also working on one of my lifelong missions that trumps them all. Is I've always wanted a nudie car, a nudie cone.
Did he
nudie
do like the suits and the seats and everything?
Yes, like Kid Rock has one. I had Kid Rock's, which was Hank Jr.'s when he was a teenager, who he got from. Did he get from Farron Young? Maybe I'm not sure. He got from anyway. It was a nudie. Nudie built it for one of the great country stars in the 50s, 60s, and gave it to Hank Jr. as a gift. And then, then it went through, I don't know, however many changes. And then Kid Rock bought it several years ago. Anyway, he let me use that for my Real Friends album cover back on Warner. And so if you go back, you'll see it in there. It's like, got the silver dollars and everything on the seats and the guns and the whole deal. And there was only a certain handful of them made. Like Buck Owens has one, I think that's one of the nudie bar or whatever in Nashville. Anyway, Nudie Suits is what Nudie Cone was the guy. Manuel's, the guy before Manuel. And so I'd like to get a hold of one of those. And I found one. And so I've been working on that a little bit on the side. I don't, you got to be funny about this stuff. And even talking about it on air, like you got to be careful about pressuring people that own things like that because you pressure them too hard, then they'll just lock up and won't ever sell it. It's not
Or
like real
you
estate.
now we're out here talking about it, and somebody's going to go, "Oh, I want that," and then you make an offer.
Well, that's fine. I mean,
Bidding war.
That's fine. That's one thing I don't do. I don't do bidding wars. I just say this is what I'll do and this is what I won't do. And because I don't covet much. I'm good to walk away with it.
I can walk away
Because
with it.
guess what?
I don't need
if
it.
we die, well, I don't because I don't because I don't ever drive them. And if I died tomorrow, then what would happen? My kids don't want them. So, whatever. Not a big deal. But I mean,
I kind of got into a little bit of that too. I have Dan and Shay's Razor scooter, and I have, and I've got that. I have that one.
Oh my
that's
God,
all,
dude!
Well, that's all I got.
Oh my
But
God.
I'm gonna just start there, and move on up. So we'll see.
I have
all
Scott Borchetta's skateboard.
yeah. All right, Chris Janson's with us. Hey, he's a singer. You all right?
I'm sorry, man.
right.
That was the funniest thing I ever said. No disrespect, but that was the funniest thing I ever
Sad I
heard.
lost all the weight. All right. All I
my
need is
God.
you. All I need is you. It's a love song. Oh. We got Chris Janson in the studio coming right back. Hang on. Chris Janson, all I need is you. Oh. It's so good.
It's a true story, dude.
I know. It's you're.
True story.
You guys were writing that. Weren't you writing something else?
Yeah, was. And
You saw Kelly or something?
yep. Yeah, thank you.
Let me tell your story.
I would love for you to.
We love you to tell. It's a great story. Fantastic. We love the stories.
Hey, you do your Trump, you can do his Biden, and you guys just.
It was a,
How about it?
So in other words, he says nothing and I say everything. No. Anyway, I was sitting on the back porch of Beast House on 30A during the pandemic, and most people don't know that I wrote that during 2020 with my guys when all you could do was Zoom at the time. And so we're sitting on the computer, and we were working on something else. It just wasn't really vibing. A totally different feel. And then All I Need Is You. They're like, well, what do you think of this? And they had kind of been nuts and bolts kind of working on it or whatever. And I loved it. And so changed some melody stuff up, started writing just took 5 like I do. I take a break in songwriting and I write something down. Then, hey, what do y'all think of this? And same with a lot of people. But we had driven a Suburban on spring break because it was spring break when the pandemic hit, and especially in the music business, like everything shut down. And so we just lived there for a year, and Kelly was inside just doing whatever in the house, and I saw her reflection through there, and I was sitting there, and we just wrote that. And I always knew in my gut, I really felt seriously that it was a huge hit. And at the record label I was on at the time, it just didn't fit at the time, and whatever, and timing is everything. And so moved on and on and on, and here we are now 3 years later. Well, not 4 technically, but 3 years later, we recorded it, and it just made perfect sense because, some people forget that when you're listening to songs coming across the radio or wherever, a lot of those songs were written way back when at a different date, but they're brand new because you never heard them before. And I was really secretive about All I Need Is You, even the demo. I never played it for anybody.
You knew it was a special song?
I did. I never pitched it around.
Oh.
And a lot of songs that I've written, that even some that I've thought about recording myself or whatever, I've given to other artists like McGraw or whoever it may be, and they've ended up recording them, which is great. Again, life with a song that, just kind of takes its own path. But I really felt strongly about this one. And then just so happens, whenever we signed and partnered with Big Machine, and we were picking this album, the Outlaw Side of Me album out. We were A&R the songs together, basically at my kitchen table. That was the first one that we were like, oh, that's a smash. We'll put that one on there.
You're like, yeah, no kidding.
But I just love it, because, again, it's fresh to someone else. And and even though I had knew about it, I had also not listened to it in a long time, and I thought, dang, that is a smash.
Did you just remix the original version that you had? Or
no, we went and recut it.
Okay.
Yeah, we recut it.
Are there other songs that you know of offhand that had long shelf lives and then came out and was a huge hit, and you're like, where was this forever?
Yes. Let's see.
I love picking your brain on country music trivia like this.
Well, thank you. Well, let me say in reverse first. I don't have as long of a list like that that I can speak of personally. I can tell you that I have more of a short-term list. Like, for instance, when Truck Yeah from McGraw happened, okay? We wrote that the Tuesday before, and they cut it the next Tuesday. When I wrote How I'll Always Be, Tim's record was done, and I really wanted to be on it, and my feelings were kind of hurt that I wasn't. Which when I cry in your soup, but whatever. But I just it ain't over till it's over. Trust me, it ain't over until it's packaged and selling, and then they can still make a deluxe record. So I'm like, whatever, it ain't over till it's over, right? And I wrote that song after the record was fully done, and then that was the next single the next week.
Oh wow!
I mean, the record was done. You understand? They were done. They were like already having success with that record. Scott Borchetta, I mean, my current record label, and then they put that on there, and it was like, whew, we're doing this one. So that's good. Love this.
So that's good.
I mean, love this. Like, listen to this. I mean, remember, Low Cash did not have a record deal when we wrote. They were record dealless or in between deals. They weren't popping at the time we wrote Love This Life, and then Love This Life changed their life. Changed mine too. I mean, it's still a huge recurring song.
I didn't even realize that you wrote that.
Yeah. Sure did. And so
they told me they did everything.
Yeah, that's cool. That I was just there.
They didn't even mention you.
Yeah,
they missaid your name.
I'm usually a moral support guy, but we wrote it. We wrote it 2 blocks from here, actually, in Danny's old house, and I showed up. That's back when I used to write at like 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm still that way because like Harlan Howard the great songwriter, used to famously like to be done by noon so he could go have White Russians, over on Music Row and just have like a normal life. I like to start early too and be done by 10. That way I can have a normal life and go hunting and fill deer feeders and do what I really want to do for the rest of the day. And so to go to the co-op and love on my wife and stuff.
Just hang out at the co-op's the best.
I want to do real life normal people stuff. And even though songwriting is a great job and I really appreciate the luxury of it, still I like to get up and get the day going and get it done. So I write early, and I used to get Low Cash up at 7 o'clock and make them write at 7 o'clock in the morning.
I bet they hated that.
Yeah, well, you're welcome, Chris and Preston, because because I'm gonna tell you straight, if I didn't get their lazy AWSs up at 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning, they would never have the biggest song of their career. I promise you that, because there was a magic in the room at 7 o'clock in the morning. Because if we're telling the truth, none of us really want to be there. And I show up with a 12-pack of Mountain Dew and pretty much polish that off by the time we were done.
Y'all were riding high.
No, legit. And I used to be real into Sour Patch Kids, and so I was crushing Sour Patch Kids.
What kind of drug dealer are you?
Yeah, man. Like it's funny. So just to set the record out there, people always look at me. They have my whole life, and they've been like, "Oh man, he's really intense." Because, gosh, he must be. Because most people think when you're an outgoing or intense person, you either drink or drug. Do you know I've never smoked pot? I've never done a drug. I would never do a drug, and I don't drink. And so
You're just hopped up on high fructose corn syrup.
pretty much, and that doesn't even that doesn't even work anymore.
No.
But I just get up. Listen, the real truth is I just get up every morning, and I'm not trying to be a motivational speaker or nothing, but I get up in the morning in the land of the free, man, the home of the brave. We are in America, and we have every opportunity to win. And I saw it before I had success as a songwriter and as an artist. I saw it happening with all my friends. All of my successful friends would get up early and get the job done because they were all fathers, they were all husbands, and they were all, they had to drive in to write songs and stuff. And they were, here we go, and they were winning big. And as they turned the corner in American history, history itself was written. Songs, number 1 songs, number 2 songs, and sometimes a few top 10s. All labels in Nashville, Los Angeles, and New York, and heard around the world. Starting with the great radio station with Big D and Bubba. Mornings, afternoons, and in the evenings.
We do it all.
We do it all.
We do every day part now.
We do it all.
We do it all.
Come here for your nightly listening ear candy. But no, I mean,
You're going to be tired of winning.
that was really
Well, listen, we're going to be winning so much that by the time we're done winning, you're going to wish, that we'd never won at all. I mean, that's. And by the way, winning is a thing that not everyone gets to do. I mean, if you look at the polls, I mean, I'm clearly. I'm winning I don't know if you can win a poll, but I love polls, and I love to ice skate. And
yeah.
I have an ice skating rink. Actually, maybe the greatest one she's ever seen, and the world loves it.
Can you not leave ever? Can you just?
I know.
Can we just? Can you just
Biggie and Bubba and Jansen.
Janson?
Hey,
Just
listen.
come in one day out of the week and we just do dumb stuff.
Well, we're gonna love it. It was
We're gonna prank. We crank call. Dude, what if we prank call Trump?
dude, let me tell you something.
By the way, don't ever do that. Yo.
No, I would never do that because he would be the kind of guy that would absolutely call you out for real in a big way. That's one guy I would not want to go against because he's a ball buster. But in all seriousness, man, if you can't have fun with people, like he's a funny guy, and the things that he says, it just generally makes me laugh, and that's where I kind of came up with the mimicking thing, but. I do a lot of impressions of people just because I grew up a Jim Carrey fan. I watched this thing the other night, not off subject, but I watched this thing the other night on Jim Carrey, and I was so mesmerized because now as an adult, I understand why as a kid I loved this guy because he could just morph into whatever.
Anything.
Immediately.
It's so bizarre.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
It's so bizarre.
Unbelievable.
I mean, so believable to the point where he lived in the Andy Kaufman persona for years.
Oh yeah, people get on set and they had to refer to him as Andy.
For real. And then that's the mark of a true genius in my opinion. So anyway, it's just kind of fun.
or
but no.
crazy.
Yeah, well, we're all
One of the.
Well, those kind of go hand in hand.
if you get into radio, entertainment, entertaining, singing, acting, you're crazy. I mean, people ask a lot. Someone asked me 2 days ago, as a matter of fact, they said, could you give me some advice on moving to Nashville? I said, yeah, don't.
Why?
But that was the exact thing I was looking for because it's a shock value, right?
Yeah.
Because if they're like, why not? Then they probably want to move to Nashville. But if they're like, oh yeah, you're right.
Phew,
Then
that
you
was a
should
close
definitely
one.
then you should definitely not because
Yeah.
man, I don't care. Any industry is so in my opinion, so saturated with crap that let's let the cream rise to the top. And if you really want something bad enough, just like if you're a pro athlete, you have to be really good.
Put in
I
the
know,
work, you're gonna
I
fight.
know looking at me that I'm probably not going to be a pro athlete tomorrow. I'm a pretty good ball player, but I'm not Tom Brady. And so if you ask me that, I'd be like, I don't really know. I don't really want to get tackled by these guys. Same thing with music, man. You either got it or you don't. If you're going to move to Nashville, you got to have that ambition and that drive, and you have to have that win. And
as Bubba says, no plan B.
no plan. You absolutely. I told this person you had to absolutely be okay with being broken poor, because I remember what it was like to be broken poor. But I was the happiest I'd ever been because I really felt like I was winning. You know, and that goes all back to that circles back into the getting up.
Just
at 7
stuff,
o'clock.
man. Just stuff.
Yeah, getting up at 7 o'clock in the morning to write songs. I mean, nobody does that, but I did that because by the time I was done with the first one, everybody else was just getting coffee and not even starting until 10 or 11. I could jump in another one. See, that's how I got Truck. Yeah, I wrote every single day for a little over a year, and was writing 2 and 3 and 4 songs a day, mostly just trash. But you know, every now and again, you get one that falls through the cracks.
Yeah. All right, so you'll be back soon in a week. You want to come back in a week?
I'll be back tomorrow,
and we'll
Get your code made.
we'll get you a key card.
It'd be
and
fantastic. I had a driver today, and I never had a driver before.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I know. It's fancy. It's like
Congrats.
the fame precedes us. Yeah. But thank you on that. But I drive myself usually, and I got this driver today. It's really cool, neat, and experience. And we're driving along. He's being super professional, not saying anything. Then I notice he has on Costa sunglasses and cowboy boots. I'm like, I guarantee this dude's a country guy. Hang on one second. Can you? Yes, thank you. And I was in there talking about myself with my wife and the head of promotion, and they were talking about me, and I was thinking, man, if this guy knows me, how embarrassing could it be? So I'm not going to say a word. I'm not going to say a thing.
Yeah, I'm just a guy.
And
man.
then I got out of the
I'm just
car.
riding along.
And then I got out of the car like I'm just here, and I was like, hey, I want to say I'm sorry for all the cool bragging they're doing on me in there. And he was like, you know what, man? I liked you, but I like you even more now. I was like, you know what?
Oh, that's really good.
Did we just become best friends?
We sure did. We're the two best friends that anyone could have. Make sure you are following this man. He is one of our favorites, Mr. Chris Janson. All I Need Is You. The Outlaw Side of Me is the album that is the latest. And also check out the CMT Crossroads with him and Brett Michaels. Well, you look like you were on a spiritual high.
I am right now, even listening to that. Like, it was so awesome, dude.
Oh, it was like drinking out of a fire hose. It looked like
it was so fun. I'm telling you, you know, and it was not made up. Most times when you put two people together like that, let's be honest, there's a little bit of hokiness that goes in for TV, right? Not with us, dude. No. That was as legit as you. And that was mostly one take stuff.
Wow. I'm gonna tell you, as somebody that was there, these two couldn't shut up about each other.
It was fun.
It was. They just kept. It was like.
Thank you.
It was like the biggest love fest of just like, here's Brett like, no man, I love you. Chris is like, no man, I played stuff. I would get $100 tip. No man, we're do your song. I love this song, and it was just like, wow. I don't know how long these two have known each other. It could be a week. It could be their lifetime, and you couldn't tell.
We met for the first time in person, face to face, the day we filmed Crossroads.
That day?
Wow.
Oh, that I had no idea. No.
And that is the God's honest truth.
Is he the one who drove you here?
Is
he your driver?
And he's a fantastic driver at that. We love everything about him.
You've liked him for his music.
We love.
You should see him use a turn signal.
Brett Leopard, we call him.
No, he's a wonderful guy. He seriously is. You know, he won The Apprentice, by the way.
Yeah.
And
that's right. Forgot about
speaking
that.
of Trump, he won The Apprentice. He's an incredibly brilliant person.
And that was whenever he had like a stroke or something at the time. Yeah, it was crazy.
And he's an incredibly humbling guy, you know, and you saw it live in person. And you know, me being such a Brett Michaels and Poison fan and as most people are, he's just a great time to be around. And that was the first time that we met in person, but we felt like brothers for 30 years because we'd spoken on the phone so much and before that, and he's just, I don't know, man. You just connect with certain people and some people you don't. But he loves me and I love him, and it's a great relationship.
It's available on online. You can just look up CMT Crossroads, Chris Janson and Brett Michaels. You'll find it.
Thank you,
dude. It's good to see you again.
It's a pleasure to see
you
all.
Hey, Hey, seriously, personally, congrats on this song.
Thank you very much.
I know. Thank you. It's a crazy business.
Thank you. It is, man.
Congratulations.
I'm very grateful for it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Chris Janson, the one and only, everyone. Well, because over the years, teenage kids have told you to like and subscribe, we don't have to say that anymore.
You know what to do.